Hey, it's KLLY-FM. Good morning. You're on the Danny Hill Experience. And you know what? It's Thursday, which means we get our good friends in here from Campbell Whitten, Sam, Clayton, Jesse. Their number, 334-3000. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. All right, so let's talk a little bit about body cams. Didn't the CHP already have body cams?
No, the CHP has dashboard cameras.
Okay, so that's different than a
right.
body cam, which is...
But they have like lapel mics that they wear as well. So you've got like a video camera that's right on the dashboard, but then you're picking up audio from wherever the officer is at. That's what the CHP has.
Oh, so that's where...
So they'll do the field sobriety test and everything outside of the shot of the video, but you still get the audio, which it's even just that, though, is a huge difference. We always look at a case. It's much better for us if it's CHP. We know we have some video footage, and it makes a huge difference. So it'd be nice if BPD and sheriffs would start by getting the dash camera. We always look at a case. It's much better for us if it's CHP. We know we have some video footage, and it makes a huge difference. So it'd be nice if BPD and sheriffs would start by getting the dash cameras.
But out of all the DUI cases that I've handled, I can count on one hand the amount of cases where a CHP actually conducted the FST, the field sobriety test, on camera.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
almost never.
Yeah, step over here, sir, and they off
not
to
safe for
exit
you
stage
there.
right. You know, but the body cameras. That's the sheriff's department now is starting to experiment with these. Up in Wasco, they've started having their deputies wear these big ugly boxes right on their the front of their uniforms, but it's got a camera with a recording device, and it preserves footage of their contact with people.
So does this help or does this make it harder?
I think it helps. I think it's a good idea to preserve the truth of what happened as best you can. So if you don't have the camera, you're relying on the memory of the officer or anybody else who happened to be there. And sometimes you get into a credibility contest, he said, she said, and people sometimes remember things incorrectly.
Yeah.
I had a case recently where an officer said, I saw the guy's leg and it definitely had a compound fracture. And then he tells the DA, I saw the bone sticking out of his leg. Okay, this is the police officer. Clearly he was mistaken and believing he was thinking about a different case because we get the medical records. The guy's got a scratch on his leg. And the guy who has his injured leg said, oh, no, I never had a broken leg. Nothing ever. So, But the officer was just adamant. Oh, yeah, he broke his leg. And he's obviously not lying and deliberately. I think he's confusing it with another case. But this is the kind of thing that these cameras would help
Clarify.
us avoid.
Well, like you were mentioning, that people can see, two different people can see the same video and see it differently. So imagine now we're dealing with somebody's memory of something that happened maybe a year ago or 6 months ago, and they might have done 100 arrests since then.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And their perspective on it, and then it's very difficult to challenge that because, well, that's what I remember. And if there's no, evidence to the contrary, more the better. Dash cameras, lapel mics, body cameras would be great. But at this point, it's kind of like whatever we can get.
And doesn't it seem like, and again, I'm not in law enforcement, but it would also protect the officers because if they're doing their job and they're doing everything upright, then they go, hey, look, I got it all on tape. I didn't do anything wrong. So this accusation's wrong, and here's the tape and the footage. It kind of seems like it protects everybody.
Yeah, the amount of money that it would save on lawsuits, if you could actually just respond to, a letter claiming my client's saying that he was beaten up there was no provocation at all, and you can actually point to a video that shows, he was definitely resisting. You'd save, untold amounts of money in lawsuits.
Yeah, would be gone.
What I don't understand, though, is that, all this, I think body cameras would be great. But we still have situations where they'll take one of our clients into the police department with the recorder right there, and they will choose not to hit the button that says record. Sometimes it can be a huge difference. There was a case where this guy was basically accused of being involved in a drive-by shooting. He was accused of being the driver, and the question is was he just thinking he was just driving to a party and his friends started shooting, or did he know that that's why they were going to this house? Well, the officer in the police report says he admitted that he drove over there so that they could shoot at the house. Okay, that's very damning evidence. But then there was a recording of this. We listened to the recording. He just says, oh, I drove over to the house. He did not give any reason why he drove over. A huge difference.
Yeah.
But we don't know that the officer was lying, but he's thinking, that's what he believes is the reason for going over there.
Yeah.
So he just sort of infuses that in there, and it completely changed the case, having a recording of it.
You can record things in public. You have to be careful, though, because if you're secretly recording someone and they don't consent to that, they don't know that you're recording them, you could be breaking the law yourself. So that's something to be aware of. If you have a camera on your dashboard, I think that's pretty obvious. It's not like you have a hidden camera or something like that. But yeah, that would be interesting. I haven't seen a case yet where the client comes in with a camera. And
well, you know what's weird is I'm getting a lot of these, and we're seeing these too. A lot of house cameras here in Bakersfield. We got that lady who was knocking on the door to deliver a package. Did you see that one? And then she saw there's other packages there and kicks it away from the front door and steals it. If there wouldn't have been home security, no one would have known that it was her. So I kind of see that within 5-10 years. You maybe seen more of these cases where they go, well, I had a go cam on my head at the time. So
it's like people are like, why are police suddenly shooting people all the time? I think the only thing that's changed is that now everyone has a video camera on them at all times.
It's a recording.
And so it may be happening less than it ever has before.
Yeah.
And, I think it's terrible that these tragedies happen, but I can't help but think of how many times where people, they didn't die, but then they're going to prison because the officers use excessive.
I'm still waiting for the dislike button, but
you know why they won't do it? Facebook announced why they won't do that. It was like 4 years ago. You know why? Because they make money off product placement. So if you could dislike Pepsi, they wouldn't pay for that. So all the big product members said, no, if you make it where you can dislike our stuff, we won't pay for the placement on it. Makes sense, right? Because if you put a page up and they're like, 42,000 people hate you, but 14 like you, probably wouldn't go very well.
You're probably right there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, either way, give them a call. Campbell Whitten. It's Sam, Clayton, Jesse. Their number 334-3000. That's 334-3000. Thanks, guys, for coming in. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.